to Mums at the Table. It's good to have you with us. I'm Rachel.
And I'm Shona.
So how do you teach your kids to be more independent? I mean, obviously there are kids out there that don't need to be taught. They want to take over anyway and just, you know, I don't need mum and dad at all. But some of them need to be taught independence. What were your boys like, Shona?
3 words. Sink or swim.
Yeah, okay. So they're all independent now by default, by whatever reason, the sink or swim approach. No.
Here she comes.
No, look, I definitely have one child who is, it's like this when I'm trying to teach her something. You know, she just doesn't need me. She's not quite aware of her own abilities, but is very aware of the confidence, but they don't match each other nicely. So she, even from 7 months, she gave up breastfeeding, you know, like that. Yeah. And she's been like that the whole time. Nope, don't need it, I'm done, I've moved on. So she wants that independence. My other two, not so much. But yes, I do take the slower approach. I do believe in teaching them safely, you know, safely. Right. So I think independence is taught through teaching someone together, you know, there's that togetherness before you let go. That I know, rolling the eyes.
Sounds like hard work.
It is hard work. It's really annoying too. It is hard work. But I don't... Look at me saying I don't trust my kids. I don't trust particularly one of them. I'd like to give more independence to one of them and take some away. Like that, they're different, don't you think?
It's interesting that you say you don't trust your children.
No.
I've had this conversation with you before, but also with other friends before. That implies to me you don't trust your parenting skills.
Quite possibly. I couldn't say no to that. There are some things I'm like, no, I probably need to. I don't feel safe. You can hear it in the way I'm talking.
Yeah,
well. Like,
I can.
It really makes me awkward. Yeah, it could make me a control freak. It could make me lots of things. And there's probably truth to all of that. But I definitely believe in teaching them. It's like crossing the road. You don't sink or swim when you cross the road. And there are things in life where you do hold their hand. You go, we're even going to rote learn this. We just do it. This is the way some things are done. There are opportunities to sink or swim as well. Which ones are they?
Yeah, no.
Hey, I'm talking with Dr. Simone about what are some signs that our child or your children may be susceptible to a food allergy or having an allergy to something that they've eaten or drunk. So what are we looking for?
So food allergies can be a really broad range of symptoms that we see. You can get kids getting a mild rash or a little bit of redness around their mouth.
After they've eaten
a particular food.
Right.
All the way through to the thankfully not very common anaphylactic reactions which need immediate medical attention and are a very serious situation. We talk a lot, as doctors, we talk a lot about the timing of exposure to certain foods, certainly from an allergy minimisation perspective. Now, there's a couple of things that we need to balance here. The latest advice coming out of the College of Paediatric Allergy Specialists, and this is what they do all day, every day, is that if you are particularly concerned about a certain food and you are still breastfeeding your child, then that is actually the best time to be introducing that particular food that you're concerned about because your child is still getting some of your immunity through the breast milk.
I find like
so
sometimes
you
get kids who are lactose intolerant. Is that because we're not drinking enough milk, or what's the situation with peanut allergies and egg allergies? It's so common these days.
It is so common, and there are allergies that your child will always be allergic to something no matter what, and they will never grow out of it, shall we say. And then, but for the most part, a lot of children do tend to grow out of their egg allergies, their allergies, shall we say. So, for instance, in the example of egg, we often find that children can have egg that's been baked into something. But can't tolerate scrambled egg. But then you try them again 6 months later and they can have it, or those sorts of things. If your child has developed if you've noticed a sensitivity or a reaction to a certain food, have a chat to your doctor. And most likely your doctor will recommend seeing a children's allergy specialist, a paediatric allergy specialist. And those are the guys who can coordinate the more detailed allergy testing. And they can also do what we call the challenging after a period of time, where if your child has been avoiding a certain food for a period, then they can do in a controlled environment, so generally like a to hospital where you've got those things on hand,
Okay.
a challenge with certain foods.
Oh.
One of the things that we can do is in an at-home environment is that if there's a history of food allergies in the family, be mindful of that.
Okay, is it a genetic thing that can
Well,
be passed down? Or
You can, if someone has a penicillin allergy, then
Okay.
you'd watch that in your kid rather than say, I'm not going to give them penicillin. But if there is that history of allergy, then if you're going to introduce a new food, make sure that you have some antihistamine syrup on hand or those sorts of things. You can use those from 6 months on safely and introduce one new food at a time. And that way you know what is the thing that's causing it.
it's so important that we know what is the food that triggered whatever it is that affected our child. So thank you so much, Dr. Simone, for those tips. Now, I know as parents, we just want to know what's best for our kid. So there you go. Check your doctor if you have any allergies or your child has any allergies, and keep it locked right here at Mums at the Table.
Say hi. Hi. Say hi, Miss Amanda.
Hi, Miss Amanda.
So we are actually going to talk about how to get kids more involved in the kitchen, especially that now that we're sort of, you could say locked down, but in a home all the time with the kids, homeschooling. These are things we need to know. And Amanda's got some great tips for us. And she wanted to talk about, I know, what are the benefits of actually getting kids involved in, and do you want to make sandwiches? You can show us how you're getting involved.
Kids love to help in the kitchen, don't they? I can see yours do, mine do as well. And like you said, I want to talk about some of the benefits. So it helps to develop a lot of important life skills, as well as other skills like reading, counting, hand-eye coordination, gross and fine motor skills. It also helps to develop healthy eating habits, as well as a positive relationship with food, and just gives your kids a greater sense of control over what they're eating.
I can't believe that's like a full university degree. That's like, I didn't realise.
Lots of benefits,
I didn't realise that by just getting them to make their sandwich, they're learning all those skills.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, so get your kids involved in the kitchen. But first of all, you can start by getting them involved with meal planning as well. So, I don't know, you might plan out your meals for the week, and you could sit down with them and give them a list of options to choose from, or ask them what their favourite meals or foods are and include that in the plan. But if you don't plan, that's fine too. You can just say, what do you feel like for dinner tonight? What's your favourite food? And
get
just
them
get them involved.
I love the whole planning thing because we actually touched on this before with Amanda about planning, and I find that now that you can only go to the supermarket, now that everything else is shut, it's better just to go once a week. So it's probably good to get the kids involved in the meal planning, so then you've just got this one shop thing you need to do, shop list.
They're still involved. Even get them to write your shopping list for you.
Oh yeah. Any more tips for us?
Yes.
What have you got?
So let's get them involved with cooking as well and meal preparation. And of course, this depends on the age of your child as to what they're able to do. So younger kids, some great ideas for them are like this: making sandwiches, or wraps for lunch, something like that. Washing and drying fruit and veggies, as well as
they can use plastic. I've got plastic knives, and I let them cut fruit with plastic knives. No problems. And then they're learning to cut the fruit as well.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Also, getting them involved with measuring and mixing ingredients.
Sorry,
that's fine.
Keep going. I'll just wipe his
Spreading
hand.
mixture into muffin pans, and my kids absolutely love rolling out pizza dough and decorating it with all our favourite toppings as well.
That's awesome.
And then as your kids are getting a bit older, you can start teaching them how to read and follow recipes, as well as peeling, grating veggies, safe techniques for using sharp knives, as well as the oven. You can get them involved with everything.
This is awesome. Even numbers. Olive was just putting the microwave on, and she said,
it's great.
20 is 20 seconds. I think this is great. Thank you so much for sharing this, Amanda, because I feel like getting my kids more involved in kitchen duties is just really teaching them stuff they're learning at school as well. So it's great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Amanda, for coming here and explaining all this sort of stuff. This is great tips for us, and especially all the parents at home that are going crazy right now. Thank you, children, for being so well behaved. And if you want any more other tips, please go to our YouTube channel, Mums at the Table. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Hey, thanks for joining Dr. Wood and I for a chat. We're talking about postpartum care, how to look after ourselves after we've had a baby. So important.
Very good. So, I mean, your body's going through this physical change. Firstly, there's kind of
repair work that needs to happen from the baby coming out of you,
Yes.
whether it's a caesarean section or whether it's a vaginal birth. There's a bit of healing to go on there. But the other big change is when you're pregnant, your placenta is making industrial doses of hormones. And when the placenta comes out, that sudden drop in hormones can have a bit of an emotional effect on you.
Yes.
And that's also the trigger for breastfeeding to start. So it's physiological that you might feel a bit teary or upset or cry at nothing or be a bit short-tempered for a few days just while that milk's coming in, and that's a physiological, normal process. And again, don't fight it.
No.
Right?
It's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
But as far as physical healing, whether you have some stitches for a caesarean section or whether it was just a vaginal birth, it's all going to get better by just doing life. The big change is managing your baby and feeding your baby. And if you're choosing to breastfeed, that's a big change. And sometimes it doesn't go as straightforward as we like, and you need to get some help from lactation consultants or the midwives to help you with attachment. You might have sore nipples, you might have bleeding nipples. So there's a lot of things you can do.
And it's to be expected.
It is to be expected.
And there's things to help you in the process. There's creams and...
Yeah, there's hydrogel discs and there's like other things to help soothe things, and there's shields, and there's a whole lot of technology out there to really help. If before your baby's born you get a chance to go to a breastfeeding class, that's really good.
Yeah, I recommend that.
Breastfeeding is the biggest change in your life of all. Labour just takes a day, but the whole breastfeeding process is like 10 times a day for the next 6 months. And if you can get your head in that space beforehand, that's the best preparation.
Right.
So that's going to happen to your body afterwards. Then you've got your things like just your general strength and don't be too worried about doing any special exercises. Just walking around and managing your baby is, the most helpful thing to do to get your body back into shape. So there's the sort of physical stuff, which will just get better by itself. Breastfeeding's a big deal. The last thing to think about is...
But if you can't breastfeed...
It's also totally okay. Your baby's going to survive.
As long as your baby's fed.
That's right. And having a healthy, happy baby is much more important than having a breastfed baby.
Yes.
And that's the most important thing. The last thing is about managing your lifestyle at that time. It's a big change. Everything's changed, right? And so first baby, it's a big change from, hey, I just go out for a coffee with my friends to suddenly I can't because I've got to think about this other baby and what I'm eating. It's all affecting things. So getting used to that. You're often really tired in the first 6 weeks because your baby's sleeping is not sleeping well and up during the night for feeds. When it's your second and third baby, managing that and the rest of the family can be a bit taxing. So you need to sort of surround yourself with people who are going to support you and help you. And if your friends say, hey, can I come and do anything? Take them up on that. Say, can you come and do a load of laundry for me?
Yeah.
Can you come and just vacuum my house? Because those are things that would be really helpful. And your friends actually think, actually, that'd be really helping my friend, and they really like to be asked.
Thanks so much, Dr. Wood. I think it's so important what you said about having that village, and if you can, get a village around you and help.
A community. Surround yourself with a community.
Exactly. So thank you so much, Dr. Wood. Hope those tips have helped you. Keep it locked right here at Mums at the Table.
So how did you get your child to sleep alone? Now, this is a topic that never, ever goes away from generation to generation because we all want it, but the kids don't seem to want it.
No, sleep. Wow.
How did you get yours to sleep alone? What was your approach?
Am I allowed to say on screen?
Yeah.
Look, one of them was a very bad sleeper. So it was a matter of life and death almost to the point. So it was just shut the door, let him scream, because it was just an attention thing. He just wanted to be picked up the whole time. He would go to sleep in your arms. The moment you put him down in the crib, he would wake up.
And it often is for kids.
It is.
They've come from this womb, this lovely, tight little, nice, warm place, hearing mummy's voice all the time or movements, all that snugness, and then moving on to what the heck am I doing on my own?
Yeah. So it was just a matter of shut the door, let you scream, and, we'd listen to make sure that nothing was going wrong.
Yeah.
But, just that whole scenario. The other was a child who would sleep all day and be awake all night. Joy. So we had to actually retrain him into learning how to sleep.
So what you're saying is
properly.
there's no quick fix?
There's no quick fix.
There is no quick fix.
Unfortunately, they don't sell a bottle at the supermarket that says get your baby to sleep.
Legally. So no, and it isn't. I think that's the first thing you have to accept.
Yeah.
For the most part, it's not going to be a quick fix. Kids go through different phases. They change.
Yep.
Even when they're older, they go through.
Oh yeah, then they become teenagers and you can't get them to wake up.
Well, that's for another day. But yeah, I took a similar approach in that from very early on, even when we came home from the hospital, I let them sleep beside me in a cot or whatever, but they were never in bed with me. I never had them in bed. That was just not for me. That was never going to work. So that was for the first few, I guess, weeks while I got used to the breastfeeding thing and getting up and all that, you know. But very soon after, they were in their own room.
Right.
Very soon after. And for me, that was really important because I couldn't sleep with them beside me, hearing all the
noises.
So that was more for me, and they had to put up with it because you both have to cope. You can't just go, oh, I've got to do everything for the baby. You also have to cope yourself. And there's times where you have to go, do you know what? Maybe they do have to cry for now while I have this moment, while I have this sleep. Are they in a dangerous situation? No. Is it ideal? Maybe not. But we're going to go with it.
Yeah.
But you can always seek professional help.
Yes.
You know, there are so many sleep clinics out there. Talk to other mums. Other mums have great ideas as well. And that's an opportunity for you to jump onto our Facebook group, our private group, so you can do that. I think we're out of time though.
We are.
We wish you all the best. We'll see you next time.